As we remember our friend and dear colleague, Barbara Walters. Joining us now, someone who knew her so well, her longtime producer on The View, so many other programs. Bill Geddie joins us. And Bill, just, so many of us, we immediately thought of you when we got the news. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm trying to move past the mourning phase into the celebration of life phase. I think that big special last night helped me a little bit. But then I'll see that clip where you and Diane come out that day that we orchestrated on the set at The View, and I go, and it starts to get very sad for me again. But it's an amazing life, and it needs to be celebrated. And
that's what we're doing this morning, and we have been doing for the last few days, because you went to work on Barbara's specials 1988. Can you just give folks an idea of what the working atmosphere was like then for women, even for someone as talented as Barbara?
It was like, I couldn't believe it. I took over the Barbara Walters specials from the great Phyllis McGrady, and I had the best job in television, and I told everybody, I said, this is the best job in television. It really was. And I was saying this to some TV executive there who will remain nameless, a male who's long gone, and he said, hey, not so fast there, kid. You're 33, she's 58. Nobody wants to see a woman over age 60 on television. So you got a year, maybe two. Now, think about this for a second. A quarter of a century later, she is doing live television 5 days a week. We're putting primetime specials. I mean, so people talk about, her battles about sexism, but how about that ageism front? She was pretty amazing in that regard, too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Not many people have noted that. And how many people can say they created a TV show that's lasted for more than 25 years and is still going strong? So how did she come up with the idea for The View?
Okay, well, I loved live. I was a huge Regis Philbin fan, and I loved watching that show all the time. And so I would say to her all the time, we should do a daytime show, because I'm with Barbara Walters, right? She could do anything. So I said, let's do a daytime show, and she never showed any real interest. Then one day we were waiting for a long lighting session, and she says to me, my conversations with my daughter are so interesting. We come at the world from a different point of view. So do you think there's a show in that? And I said, what, you and your daughter? He says, no, not me and my daughter. Like, like the thing with Virginia Graham, Girl Talk. And I'm like, I don't know what that show is. That must have been from another century. I've never heard of it. It's just, women sitting around, different generations, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yes. So I wrote it up. I had a different title. I called it Everybody's a Critic. Terrible title for the show. And we pitched it. And they said, we love it. We hate the title. We worked on that. Everybody was go for it except for Rune Arledge, who was really her boss. And Rune said, this is a terrible idea. It's a terrible time slot. He was right. And it is dangerous for you, Barbara, and your career. And he was right. But we forged ahead.
I love hearing all those stories, the behind the scenes with that. Hey, Bill, what did you learn? What did you learn from Barbara?
Well, the thing that I learned is do it now. Don't procrastinate. It was always a little scary when you'd suggest something to her. Say, well, maybe we should interview the First Lady. Get the White House on the line now. It's like, well, no, maybe I'm just a suggestion. Maybe we should think about it. No, let's do it now. I miss that she was very funny. She thought I was funny. If you think I'm funny, you got me. I'm yours for life. And also she kept me on my toes. Barbara could make anybody feel like a slacker. She kept me on my toes, and I appreciate that. I appreciate people who do that. It's an amazing thing that she did for me and for the world.
And she was a great collaborator, too. I mean, she had her, her ideas, but she would listen. You could talk her into doing something.
Well, I think that's what people are always saying. She must have been hard, tough as nails, and that's not really the Barbara I knew. I mean, yeah, she had very strong ideas, but she could be talked off a bad idea and talked into a good one. And I think that's really important for everybody in this world.
Yeah, she got talked off of that bad idea of the name of the show that you have. What was it, The Critics? Everybody's a critic?
Everybody's a critic. But what happened was they didn't have a set for us. If you have a second, they didn't have a set for us. So we used an old soap set. And I walked in one day, and the soap set had this big view of these fake Brooklyn brownstones. It was a set called the show called The City with Morgan Fairchild. And I said something with the view from here. And evidently somebody owned the view from here, so we shortened it to the view. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Bill Geddie, you look great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know
Thank
The View.
you too.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.